Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Nerdy. Good morning, Sandy and Cleany. Oh, good morning to everybody. Herbie Von Werb. Hey, good morning, everyone. There's all my buddies right there in one room. We're all in one room, all us buddies. That's the group right there. Sandy, it came so fast this time. Good morning, Jolie. Whenever you feel like it, just do some giveaways today, Jolie. Just I need two names on the board from you, and then the final name from today. At the very end of the day, we're going to give this away. We're going to give this piece of fruit away. It's one of the smaller giant squats. Okay. 13 days into your bends. That's good. You should see a little bit of white in the window by now, I hope. Good morning, Niffy and Exception and Cleany and Higgs and Lil Roy and Greg. Good morning. Okay, so 30 people here, only 10 people have hit the like button. Okay, it is what it is. I'm gonna do something here. Hold on. Wait a minute. Pops is having a problem lately. Let me tell you what my problem is. I have too much stuff. I'm tired of stuff. I feel like having 4 yard sales in one weekend.
I would have been out here a little bit sooner, but they gave me the wrong dressing room, and I couldn't find any place to put my stuff. And I don't know how you are, but I need a place to put my stuff. So that's what I've been doing back there, just trying to find a place for my stuff. You know how important that is. That's the whole meaning of life, isn't it? Trying to find a place for your stuff. That's all your house is. Your house is just a place for your stuff. If you didn't have so much goddamn stuff, you wouldn't need a house. You could just walk around all the time.
Just walk around.
That's all your house is. It's a pile of stuff with a cover on it. You see that when you take off in an airplane and you look down and you see everybody's got a little pile of stuff. Everybody's got their own pile of stuff. And when you leave your stuff, you got to lock it up. Wouldn't want somebody to come by and take some of your stuff. They always take the good stuff. They don't bother with that crap you're saving. Ain't nobody interested in your 4th grade arithmetic papers. They're looking for the good stuff.
Just the good stuff.
House is, it's a place to keep your stuff while you go out and get more stuff. Now, sometimes you've got to move. You got to get a bigger house. Why? Too much stuff.
Good morning, Healthy.
You've got to
I
move
see you.
all your stuff. And maybe put some of your stuff in storage. Now imagine that. There's a whole industry based on keeping an eye on your stuff.
Your stuff.
Enough about your stuff. Let's talk about other people's stuff. Did you ever notice when you go to somebody else's house, you never quite feel 100% at home? You know why? No room for your stuff. Somebody else's stuff is all over the place. And what awful stuff it is. Where did they get this stuff? And if you have to stay overnight at someone's house, unexpectedly...
You, JC, you be quiet. It's going to be you next.
Someone died in it 11 years ago, and they haven't moved any of his stuff. Well, wherever they get you to sleep, usually right near the bed, there's a dresser, and there's never any room on the dresser for your stuff. Someone else's shit is on the dresser. You notice that their stuff is shit, and your shit is stuff.
It's stuff. Ding.
Now, sometimes you go on vacation, you gotta bring some of your stuff with you. You can't bring all your stuff. Just the stuff you really like. The stuff that fits you well that month. Say you're gonna go to Honolulu. You're gonna go all the way to Honolulu. You gotta take 2 big bags of stuff. Plus your carry-on stuff, plus the stuff in your pockets. You You get all the way to Honolulu and you get in your hotel room and you start to put away your stuff. That's the first thing you do in a hotel room is put away your stuff. I'll put some stuff in here, put some stuff down there. Here's another place for some stuff here. I'll put some stuff over there. You put your stuff over there. I'm putting my stuff over here. Here's another place for your stuff. Hey, we got more places than we've got stuff. We're going to have to buy more stuff. And you put all your stuff away, and you know that you're thousands of miles from home, and you don't quite feel at ease, but you know that you must be okay because you do have some of your stuff with you. And you relax in Honolulu on that basis. That's when your friend from Maui calls. Hey, why don't you come over to Maui
I hate
for the
stuff. I'm
weekend?
so tired of my
Spend a couple
stuff.
nights over here. Oh, shit.
I hate stuff.
Now what stuff do you bring? Right, you've got to bring an even smaller version of your stuff. Just enough stuff for a weekend on Maui. And you get over, and you're really spread out now. You've got shit all over the world. You've got stuff at home, stuff in storage, stuff in Honolulu, stuff in Maui, stuff in your pockets. Supply lines are getting longer and harder to make. But you get over to your friend's house in Maui and they give you a little place to sleep, and there's a little window ledge with some kind of a small shelf, and there's not much room on it, but it's okay because you don't have much stuff now. And you put what stuff you do have up there. You put your imported French toenail clippers, your odor readers with the 45-day guarantee, your cinnamon-flavored dental floss, and your Afrin 12-hour decongestant nasal spray. And even though you're a long way from home, you know that you must be okay because you do have your Afrin 12-hour decongestant nasal spray. And you relax in Maui on that basis. That's when your friend says, hey, I think tonight we'll go over the other side of the island and stay at my friend's house overnight. Oh, shit, no. No! What do you bring? Now you just bring the things you know you're gonna need. Money, keys, comb, wallet, lighter, hanky, pens, cigarettes, contraceptives, Vaseline, whips, chains, whistles, dildos, and a book.
That's it. There's your list. Oh, good morning. Good morning. I'm struggling with my stuff. Good morning. I have too much stuff. I'm struggling. Wait. Get out of here, George. You're hilarious this morning. I was remembering the George Carlin routine on stuff, and I had to play it. As much for myself as for y'all. Oh, man. I have too much stuff. I want to get rid of stuff. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. What Kim's saying that's sounding crazy? I'm scrolling back to see what Kim's saying. I got my windshield busted out of the car yesterday driving through hail. Whoa, are you serious? Texas? You guys are crazy weather people down there. You guys are like crazy down there. Penny, that's a good one. Kind of a wise routine, right? George was the best. I hesitate to say because I know later on all of the issues with the old guy. But I'll tell you what, I thought Bill Cosby was one heck of a stand-up comedian. Back in the day when he was funny, before the Cosby Show, he was funny. Richard Pryor. Pops met Richard Pryor. Yeah, I worked on his house in Hollywood Hills. I put a parquet floor in the lobby at Richard's house. And Richard partied the whole time we were there. He didn't mind letting you see either. He was a partying maniac. Yeah, we ran into a different, once in a while we would run into different comedians. Not comedians, I shouldn't say that, stars. Kurt Russell did a little work around his house. Just because that's the neighborhood. And once one guy knows you, then another guy gets to know you, and, you get yourself known. So, Bill D, that was the thing in our growing up, too. Growing up as kids, we had 3 records in our house. 2 were Bill Cosby comedian records, and the third one was Roger Miller. Trailers for sale or rent. Rooms to rent 50 cents. Man of means by no means. King of the road, I got every engineer on every train. All of the people and all of their names. And every handout in every town. Ever like it ain't like when no one's around. I got trailers for sale or rent. Get out of here! I need some music in the background. That was back in the day. Can you imagine 6 little kids running around the house singing Trailer for Rent? King of the road, king of the road. And we had our microphone. Of course, we had our microphone. Trailers for sale or rent. Rooms for rent, 60, 50 cents. Old stogies I have found. Short, but not too big around. Man of means by no means. King of the road. Get out of here, Pops. Okay. Good morning. Roger Miller sings that, Alan. Can I get, did I turn a bunch of people off? There were 48 likes and now it's 48. 44. What happened? Can you unlike? Is it possible? Deb, the Pop Show. I could do it. I just need some background music and maybe a gong. If we had a gong here, okay. I think later we finally talked our parents into one more album. Don't you remember these were the big 72 LP? 72, because it goes around 72. Come on. Do you remember who? I'm even remembering the needle on our stylus. One year we finally got a good needle. Up until then it was like a scratchy needle. And then you end up with a good needle. Oh, wow, you spend like $4 on a good needle. And now you can really hear it with less crackly noise. You know what I'm talking about? We hear it going around. It's going around. We finally talked my mom and dad into our 4th album. I'm going to guess our 4th album. It was a group, a popular group in the late 60s, early 70s. Go. Whoever guesses first, the album, and not the album, but the group. Just give me a group. Who do you think we got? It was not ABBA. ABBA was later on. No. No. Don't forget where I lived. Santa Monica. That was a key. Nerdy! Nerdy got it! Nerdy, how'd you know? Nerd, I'm going to send you something. I need your address. You're not even going on the wheel. This is separate. Nerdy got it. It was the Beach Boys. The Beach Boys. Come on, man. Help me, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda. Come on. We did the Beach Boys. Nerdy got that. That was good. Jackson 5 was soon to follow. But my dad, I'll be honest with you guys, this is weird looking back. Looking back, this is a true story. I grew up in a very, very Catholic Catholic home, Catholic educations, Catholic high school. Catholic. My dad studying to be a priest. You know what happened in the 1960s? Growing up, this is a true story. I hope I'm not hurting anybody's feelings here. I really am not. Because I didn't catch the bad bug. My dad was prejudiced. My dad used around the house, it was just like a regular thing. Oh, the N-word. Oh, the neighbor across the street, the N. I look back now and N-word was flying around my house. Not flying. But that would be the word my dad would use to describe something. I'm looking back now and I'm going, that isn't that long ago. And it was in my own home. And I mean, that's how he grew up. He would even, he used the same, he wasn't even that bad of a guy, but he said spick. He would call them beaners. I remember this growing up. We didn't say them, the kids didn't. But can you imagine your parents still having those kind of residual back of the bus culture? It's weird. Sorry for bringing that up. I thought that would shock one or two of you. It's shocking when I think about it. Give me a feedback on that. Jimmy, I don't feel good. You caught me. I couldn't even comb my hair this morning. Okay. You were afraid of people of color because of your parents, Penny? See, it was not that long ago. It really, even your grandparents. See, I just wanted to tell the truth there for a second so we could all admit it. We're all, oh, Black Lives Matter, and they do. And don't do anything that's even anything close to disparaging or use that damn ugly word. But I grew up with it in my house. Wow. Now, Brock, no. No, absolutely not. There were none in our neighborhood. There were no friends, no. You guys have to admit it. See, right? Little Roy and Cleany. And racism was, I'm not even saying it's not still. We certainly as a culture are doing, I think we're scratching it, getting better at it, and we still have a long ways to go. I have some awesome friends, Gypsy. I have one of our best friends right here, Anthony Thornton. I can't even tell you how much I love that guy and his girl, et cetera, et cetera. James, my good friend James, and that's just here. I'm leaving a million out. Marilyn. Sandy loves everyone equally, he just said. But isn't that an interesting, just kind of a thought back, go back in your head and in your history and go, man, I was raised with some racism around me. I was Free. You encountered it. See, Free encountered it as a Puerto Rican. That's right, Free, Puerto Rican, handsome. Anyways, not to get on. That's not a bad subject. It's just like think back in our own personal history, and we think, oh, we're above it. Bro, we were born in it. We were born in it still. So let's rise above, right? We're doing a good job of rising above. I know I am. Give me 10 people who says, I'm doing a pretty good job. I'm not that guy that I was raised to look like. No way. I'm a progressive 2023 guy. I'm waiting. 10 people said, yep, I could have been one, but I'm not. I could have gone that way because it was around. Right? I'm waiting. I only see 3 or 4 people. Hags, everybody is like, blood's all red, right? We're not all human. I mean, Bill, I'm not even saying to be perfect. I'm just saying do a pretty good job. All right? Nerdy, let's not be like that. Anyways, I'm not preaching to this one at you guys. You guys already got this one. Okay? Let's, Jolie should be giving something away pretty soon so I can get a name. RX, there is no room for hate. I agree. RX, I love RX. Okay. I want to read a couple major, tiny random factos to you guys as we get ready to talk about substrate. In the meantime, Jolie is going to do something to get somebody's name to me. So Funny, I'm glad you're here, and I love everyone too. Look at the beautiful things you guys are saying to each other. Ronnie, make someone happy today. You just made me happy by being here. I'm not joking. 63 people here. 55 likes. I haven't even had to push on you guys. Okay? Jolie, we're ready. She wants to know if you guys are ready. We're all ready. Gosh, I like you guys talking to each other. I think I'm just going to step away from the camera What do you think? Maybe one of these days I just step away and let you guys talk for about 15 minutes? Huh? You guys have a lot to say and it's good. I know, Deborah. Actually, I grew up. Simi Valley was right around the corner from where my home was. And it was in the middle of the whole Rodney King situation. Rodney King, you guys remember back then when they beat the hell out of that poor man? Unaccountably so. Jeez. And then they turned it, and then there was race riots in my city from that. There were people being pulled out of trucks and bricks thrown on their heads. It was insane what was going on. Korean businesses being burned to the ground. It was insane. Think back, I grew up in that. Freaking race riot in my own city of LA. Manchester. Had a job not far from there. Unbelievable. And Rodney King. You talk about a man that wanted to just move on from that terrible experience, and he didn't. Do you remember how Rodney King died? Who remembers how Rodney King died? He died about 5 miles from my house in his backyard. He had bought a home with some of his settlement money in Silmar, California, San Fernando, Silmar area. He was in his backyard. No, he didn't OD, Alan. He drowned in his pool. He drowned in his pool. Do you remember that? That's right, funny, he drowned. Now, I don't know if they did an autopsy to find out if he was, his situation when he drowned. But yeah, I remember that like it was almost yesterday because it was not, all of this was happening pretty close to around my house. Anyways, R.I.P. Rodney King. Okay, how do you drown in your own pool? Slingy? There may be, who knows? There might have been some alcohol and some, well, I'm not disparaging the man. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at it. I'm sure they did autopsies and stuff. It was sad. It was sad. Let's do a couple of quick rando factos. And then we're going to talk about substrate, and then we're going to do a love message. Okay? Daniel Etchison, good morning. Tigers. Here's a weird fact. Oh wait, Jolie's asking us a question. The heaviest organ of the human body is the skin, true or false? She wants to know. She's gonna do her game. She's gonna tell me whose name to put up here when she's done. Okay? Tigers. While she's doing that, I'm gonna throw a couple of factos at you guys. There are more captive tigers in the world than there are wild ones. What? There's more captive, more in zoos and in tiger places than are in the wild. In the United States alone, there are about 7,000 tigers in captivity. I feel sad for the tigers. Koala moms. You know what? It is sad, nerdy. You know what koala moms do? See, they're worried that their babies are going to get this bacteria that's going to upset their digestive system, and as a little baby, they're not going to be able to digest their foods correctly. So koala moms figured something out a long time ago, evolutionary-wise. Koala moms. They feed their baby their own feces. Koala mom feeds the baby their own feces so that the little ones can acquire the bacteria their digestive tracts need to detoxify the highly poisonous eucalyptus leaves that they eat. We're already going to go eat poison. We're going to go eat a bunch of eucalyptus leaves, okay? So, honey, before we eat eucalyptus leaves, just to make sure you're going to be okay, have a bowl of poop. Okay, Mom. What's going on around there? Have a couple of slices of poopy, and then we can go get a couple of leaves. We'll figure that out. Just forget the eucalyptus leaves altogether. Jeez. What? That's a crazy one. If I'm a koala, I'm just saying forget the eucalyptus, Mom. Mom, find me something else. Okay, I don't need eucalyptus right now. Only 3%, and this will include Homo sapiens, supposedly, only 3% of mammals form long-term pair bonds. Couple. Now, Homo sapiens do it for a while and then change. Most animals, when they do it, they stick till they're dead. They're like, oh, okay, I'm stuck with you. Us, we look at it and go, I want a pair bond, but I'm changing my pair. I'm going to go to a different bond. Okay, we pair bond all around. They pair bond once. But only 3% of mammals do that. The rest of them, orgy city. The rest of them, I don't care where it's coming from. I just need it. Okay? 97% of the mammals on our planet are having an orgy right now. It's pretty interesting. Okay? I'm going to tell you this one. You guys are going to creep out on this one. You want to get really creepy? You want to get creeped out, Bob Johnson? Look at a platypus. It's already a goofy looking animal, right? It's already kind of, what the platypus is going on around here? That's not enough. They're going to creep you out. Do you guys remember, Mike Myers. He did those movies, Austin Powers. Remember the Austin Powers movies? Who was the big Scottish guy in the movie? It was Austin Powers, I think. But I hope you guys are working with Jolie. She's really running some great games there. Wait, I have to tell you guys about platypuses here in a minute. What was the Scottish guy in the movies? Fat Bastard? Was that it, Herbie? Fat Bastard? Give me one more. Alan won. No, you know what? Alan's already won this week. Alan's already on the list. Oh, no. Alan's already on there. Oh, no. Alan, now you have to pick somebody to take Alan, you have to pick someone. If Alan won, it's okay, don't be sorry to win, but if Alan won, Alan has to pick someone now. Okay? Do you guys remember Fat Bastard? Do you remember what was the creepiest part about Fat Bastard? What was the creepiest part? Remember the skin, the folds in his skin, and he had like crumbs and stuff in the folds of his skin? Do you remember that? Jolie, just let me know at the end here who won. I'm getting lost track while I'm keeping track. Okay, Alan's saying give it to Slingy. I just saw Alan say give his spot to Slingy. Let's do it before we forget. Slingy. Slingy, you could be thanking Alan. Alan's already on here. Good job, Jolie. Good job. We need another one. You probably already did it. I'm a little behind. Okay, so we got a Fat Bastard. He's creepy, right? Nothing creeped me out probably more. I literally almost went to the bathroom and threw up in that scene. Okay, congratulations, Slingy. Great job there, Jolie. Sincerely. Those are some good questions you were asking. So let's talk about female platypuses. Why did I mention fat bastard? A female platypus don't have teats. They exude milk from their pores, which pulls in its folds. And then the young come and lick it up. That is creeping me out. I want a direct spot for them to go to. That's it. You go to that spot. You hit that little area right there. Boom. Source. You don't get to lick me all over, in and out, up and down, find my folds. That is disgusting. Gulp. And immediately when I read that, I thought, fat bastard. What if there's crumbs in there? Then it's like not milk anymore. You're almost getting grits. Right? What happens when there's like foreign objects in there? How does it gets mixed in with the milk? Freaking me out. Baby platypuses are born with teeth. They have teeth. Well, that's one reason the mom doesn't want them to be chewing on her. But they lose them using their horny plates, just their top and bottom jaw to grind their food. They start out with teeth and then they lose them because they don't need them. Hey, they're already eating poop, so what's the difference? No, that was koalas. Eggs. The koalas are eating the poop. The platypuses are licking fat bastard. Okay? How about this? How about this? You think that you're a hardworking mom? Oh, I work hard every day. I go to work. I come out. I take care of my kids. I come home. I take care. You're nothing compared to a platypus mom. A female platypus builds a nearly 100-foot long burrowing breeding burrow. She plugs the burrow with mud each time she leaves to protect the young. I gotta cover it back up, put some mud back over the hole and let nobody go. There, I'm coming home, hon. Gotta get through the mud hole. Go see the kids. Gotta feed them a couple of folds. Okay? After they lick a fold or two, I gotta get out of the burrow and go close it back up. And what the? All right, then. We'll do one more. One more. I didn't know this. You didn't either, so don't pretend you did. About 20 new dinosaur species are discovered every year. What? How many frickin' dinosaurs can there be? 20 every year. Do the math for me, Hags. How many have we found since 9/11, 2001? 23 times 20. What is that? We found 460 since 9/11? 460 more dinosaurs? Yeah, that's kind of crazy. What do we do with them all? Where do we put them? How do we do that? Is that a real random fact? Oh, I don't know, man. About 20 new dinosaur species are discovered each year. When do they stop? Like, when are we going to run out of ones to find? I didn't know this. What do we name them, Mike? What do we do? Some dinos had 2 brains. Okay, see, I liked dinosaurs when I was a kid, then I gave them up, right? Every little boy likes a dinosaur or two. Brontosaurus, T-Rex, whatever. Some dinos had 2 brains. One in the head and one in the tail. Tail brain? Now I lost my place. Just freaking me out. I didn't know that. Eggs, there's 20 a year we're finding, and we're finding out some of them have tail brains. Where did this come from? They never told us that on that movie, Jurassic Park. Did they tell us that in Jurassic Park? I don't remember. I have to be honest, I don't think I ever watched a whole Jurassic Park movie. I don't think I've ever seen a whole show. One more thing about dinosaurs. The word dinosaur was coined in 1842. 1842 is when we first started calling it a dinosaur. Okay? It was named by an English paleontologist named Richard Owen. It derives from the Greek words Deinos, which means powerful, terrible, or wondrous, and Saurus, which means what? First person. We'll get a nerdy prize. Small little gift I'll send out. What's the Saurus part stand for? We have mean, wonderful, terrible. Jonathan K. Lizard. Jonathan K. Jonathan K. will probably give it away because he promised that he'd give away his next win. Jonathan K., that's correct. It derives from the Greek word Deinos, which means powerful, terrible, or wondrous, and Saurus, meaning lizard. Jonathan K., he's either going to give it away or he's going to send his address to me at the DetroitMushLab.net. Either way. Let's talk a little bit. We have today and tomorrow, we're going to continue to talk about substrates. Oh, I know where it is. Substrate. Okay. See, that's what I'm saying. He has a big harvest of his own. He's going to figure it out. He's a nice guy. We were talking about bulk substrates yesterday. Actually, yesterday we talked more about PF Tech. And we talked about, who did he give it to? Who did he give it to? Did he give it to somebody or not? John, just let me know, okay? And then we still have Joel Lee's working with us here today. We should be having fun today. Gypsy Life Scott goes to Jimmy Key. We're going to put a Jimmy Key on the board for Gypsy. Is that right? That'd be the last spot on the board. Let me see. Are we getting a little confused here? Am I supposed to put a Jimmy Key? Okay, Gypsy. When Gypsy tells me to do something, I do it. Jimmy Key. Okay, so the board's full up. The board's full up. We're going to do a big spin tomorrow. And we're going to give away 14 grams to somebody off of this list, off the spin list tomorrow. So I can't wait to do that. Okay. Congratulations, Jimmy. That was really nice of you, Gyps. Thank you, doll. And then we still have a Jonathan K. situation out there. Jonathan K., whoever was going to win something from Jonathan K., it won't be a board thing. I'm not putting you on the board. I'm just going to send you a little package of something. Okay? Bob Johnson's name's on the board, Jolie. Bobby J's on the board already. Right there. Bobby J's on the board. Okay. Congratulations to Bobby J. Welcome, Soul. Good morning, Soul. Good morning to Soul. And Jolie, thanks for everything you're doing there. Gets complicated, doesn't it? Uh-huh. Now you see what Pops goes through. Kidding. So yesterday we were talking about PF Tech and we were talking about Mountain Tech and we were talking about ways to grow our spawn, to fruit out our colonized bags or jars of spawn. I mentioned, and somewhere in the late 1990s to the 2000s, in the early 2000s, new tech came out and they were saying, you know what, we'll use tubs. We'll use these sterilite gasket sealed tubs, control our environment, and we're going to take our cake, our spawn, and we're going to break it up. And we're going to mix it in with our substrate. And when we do that, and if we do it correctly, they figured out the right thickness of cakes. All of that has been done for years. If you make yourself a cake between 3 and 4 inches thick, and you have it in a sealed, contained environment with some FAE, and you can keep the temperature around 74 and the humidity over 90, you can do a lot better in terms of how much fruit you're going to get from that one bag or one jar than if you had just grown it through PF Tech. You can get a lot more fruit. We figured it out. It's about 4 times in our grow environment here. From a mound, I'll get X, and from a cake, I'll get X times 4, generally speaking. What the biggest problem when we do the bulk substrate, when we make the cakes, is we have increased the surface area for the opportunity for contamination. When we're working with a little jar of PF Tech or we're working with our mounds, it's not a big area that can get contaminated. As soon as we open it up, I'll tell you one thing automatically, just the fact that we're going to break up the spawn to spread into our bulk substrate, we're already causing it to not be what nature wanted it to be. Nature already just wanted it to be that ball of colonized spawn. That's how she grew it. If she wanted it all broken up and everything, she would have broken up as she was growing it. She could do that. But she was actually making it a tighter and more compacted as she's leaching all of the moisture out of it. I just said something very key. When we've got our spawn and we're first taking out of the jar or we're first taking it out of the bag, the very first thing that we need to do is add water back in to that spawn that's been colonized, because nature has been drinking all of that field capacity. Excuse me, I'll take that back. She's been drinking all of the water out of the grains as she's been eating them. So that water that we hydrated into the grains during the prep and pressure cooking procedure, she's withdrawing all of that. Now, if in order to get a good bulk substrate, we have to add water back into the spawn itself and into the substrate without making the substrate a swamp. That's why we talked about field capacity. Okay? Tomorrow and later today, I will post on my IG some recipes for bulk substrate. These are recipes you can turn to, you can look at, you can try them, you could use them. We talked yesterday about the basic one that I use. I don't need to keep beating that up. Moisture content of substrate, super important. That's our field capacity. Okay? Mushrooms are 90% water when fresh. Okay? You'll like it, Penny, the book. And the truth is, all of the profits from our book, the little manual that we started, all of the profits go to Fungi for You, which is the nonprofit organization we have. And beginning of next year, after talking to all of my experts and lawyers, et cetera, beginning of next year, you'll see some activity on starting up from the nonprofit organization. Right now, we're seeding it, funding it, getting the all the bylaws, the things that we need to make it completely official, and getting our tax-free number from them and all that stuff. Okay, but we don't sit around over here. We keep it rolling. So by January, my plan is in January to be able to tell everybody about it and put out all the information on that. Okay. We know that the mushrooms are 90% water when fresh. One of the ways we know this is watch. When we go to dehydrate our mushrooms, and I put in 10 grams of fresh mushrooms, and I run my dehydrator, and I'm going to get back a crispy mushroom. About how much does that mushroom weigh? If I put in 10 grams into the dehydrator, about how much? Herbie says it's about 1 gram. Haig says I get back about 1 gram. That's about what I get back, you guys. Once in a while I'll get a 1.1 gram. Once in a while I'll get 0.9. But I'll average back about 1 gram. That means we're getting a 10% return on our wet, fresh fruit to our dry fruit after we've removed all of the water. Now, that's when we dehydrate. When I freeze dry, which is another process, instead of a 1 gram, I generally get back about 0.8. So freeze drying, at the end of the day, if you look at it, actually removes more moisture. Dehydrating, we all know, if we dehydrate a mushroom, it's crispy, it's everything, it's all dry. Generally, if you take that mushroom and you put it back out without putting it in a sealed container, it'll gather some of the moisture from the environment back, and it'll start turning into kind of a wimpy little mushroom again. I'll give you an example. I have one right here. I forgot to close this guy back up after showing you guys. He needs to go back in the dehydrator now, watch. He's not supposed to be a sponge. He was dehydrated as could possibly be. And I've left him out after talking about him for a while, not resealing it. It's grabbing moisture from in here and putting itself right back into that shroom. It's not the right eggs. You're not supposed to have a sponge shroom. Ugh, creepy. So this has to go into the dehydrator again. But I softened them up, Sharon, like I'm trying to do to you, dear. So we know that our fruit has about 90% of it's water. In some cases, and again, it's strain related too. I'll give you an example. I'll get more weight back after dehydrating from Squat than I will from Ghost. What's that telling me? The Ghost fibers that make up the mushroom itself, the fibrous part, they're lighter and less compact. The Squat, it's a thick boy. And it just the fiber of it alone. You know, one of the lightest ones in my experience? Thrasher. If I take a thrasher, here's an example. Take 5 grams of thrasher and I fine grind it to put it in pills. And I take 5 grams of Squat and I fine grind it and I put it in pills. I'll get more pills out of the Squat than I will out of the Thrasher. The reason is the thrasher's fibers, after they've been ground, are so light, so fluffy, they're almost like down feathers. The other one, it's closer to a granule. So it all depends. I hope I'm not confusing you. At the end of the day, it all depends exactly on the strain that you're working with. But a good round number to work with is you're going to get a 10% return. Mushrooms are 90% water when fresh. So having the proper amount of moisture in your substrate is of vital importance for fruiting as well as your original colonization. The level of proper hydration is called field capacity. It is the optimum level of hydration in which the substrate is holding the maximum amount of water while not being too wet, and the minimum amount of water that is needed for proper fruiting and colonization. Field capacity. To tell you when your substrate is at field capacity, mix in your water very thoroughly to be sure that the water is distributed throughout evenly. Pick up a handful of your substrate and give it a squeeze. If it is at field capacity, water should drip out with a light squeeze, and a small stream of water will drip out with a hard squeeze. No water should drip out if you're not squeezing. That if it is below field capacity, water will not drip out when squeezed. If water is dripping out without any squeezing, it is above field capacity. One thing you do not want to do is oversaturate your substrate. Okay? So, we're going to cover pasteurizing again tomorrow, spawning and fruiting. We're going to cover all three of those areas tomorrow. In the meantime, let's move on to our final little area of wonder this morning. Help me because I'm a little lost here. Do we have everybody's name in from Jolie? We've got a Jimmy Key. We've got a Slingy. I know Alan and Bob J have won things. Alan is going to either send me an address or he's not. Matt. We had Matt at the I don't know. I'm a little confused over here. I got lost. I'm confused. Red Boy, have a nice day. I got confused, you guys. Okay. You know what's funny is lately I've been studying and on my own little thing, Kimmel like this. I've been studying the history of physics. Winners, here we go, Jolie. Thank you, doll. Matt, I'm sorry, you were yesterday. My bad. And Jolie, you can always tell me a little bit later too. Okay? I'm giving away. I just want everybody to have a good time, Bobby. So I've been studying physics, the history of physics mostly. And then as you're studying that, some of these authors are so smart that they're teaching me about things. And one of the most wondrous things was when we finally really started to understand what the atom was. And the brilliant brains that came up. Possibly, they think on a completely different level of brain thoughts. Rutherford, he came along, idea of this is what an atom model would look like. He wasn't quite right, but he was almost there. Then Niels Bohr, he comes along and he cleans it up a little. And it's all done by proof of mathematics is proving all of this. And then spectrometry and stuff like that. It's fascinating. Atoms. In one atom are found all the elements of the earth. In one motion of the mind are found all of the motions of existence. In one drop of water are found all the secrets of the endless ocean. In one aspect of you are found all the aspects of you. That's written by Khalil Gibran. As humans, I'm going to just read this pretty straight. This is so well written, and it won't need a lot of pop ad. As humans, we are relentlessly in a cycle. The mind builds a shell to protect its, this is a beautiful term. Listen to this term. The mind builds a shell to protect its turtle spirit. Boop, boop. We have turtle spirits. We pull in when we feel like turtling up. And we can pop out when we're at tea. We have turtle spirits. Don't forget that. I didn't think of it that way before. But we're turtles. The mind builds a shell to protect its turtle spirit. But the shell muffles the spirit. That same shell that we built now muffles our spirit. Till outgrowing, and eventually, guess what? We're in a cycle. We're going to outgrow that shell. We devise ways to break it. We build the shell. Yeah, page, I'm reading Book of Awakenings, page 372. We build the shell, then we tear it down. We build it thinner. We tear it down. It's only through the constructions that we are actually touched. Not while we're in the shell, but after one's broken down, we're going to build a thinner one. In that period of time, that's when we can be touched. Not while we're turtling spirits. Only between encasements. Listen to this word. Only between encasements of these shells are we punctured by love. Punctured. You couldn't even help it. Somebody came up, boom, punctured. That's a great word. Who here has ever built a shell? Who realizes it's a shell, pops their turtle spirit out and says, I think I need to build a thinner one. Thinner would be better. And then you pop your head out, go, you know what, I could do even thinner than that one. I can get thinner. Boop. It's while you're doing that you're available to be punctured. That's what happens here at tea. You're building a thinner shell. By being here and being honest, tell each other a couple of things about yourself. We're literally building a thinner shell here. And right before we build the new thin one, we're available to be punctured by people here. All of nature is conscripted to this cycle. That's not just us. Trees grow moss. Silver tarnishes. The mind is dulled by the growth of its conceptions. And likewise, watch this. A storm removes the moss. A scratch breaks through this tarnish on the silver. And crisis reveals the raw surface of our minds. Time builds and it erodes, and we are transformed. Wind gathers sand to a dune, and the tide comes along and undermines the dune. It's how the early years pack us, and our later years softly flood us without a sound. We were built, that sand dune was built. Now I have this soft undercurrent of tide that's changing who I am, who I was packed to be. We have no choice but to withstand the film that constantly builds and to endure the erosion that inevitably follows. We must withstand this film that would build on us, especially when you're sitting on your couch all alone with your curtains drawn and you're in anxiety and depression. You must withstand that and understand that there's evolution. You can pop your turtle spirit out and change the thinness of your skull, of your shell. Of course, for humans, I'm almost done. Give me 5 people. This is good stuff. I love comparing everything to nature like this guy does. It just clicks. I get it. I was a dune packed. My parents and society and culture, I got all packed. We have this soft undercurrent of a tide now that gets to change who we are, transform us silently. Of course, for humans, this dance of film and, it affects our thinking and our feeling and our seeing and our being. How easily and repeatedly we dull and we brighten. How easily we become chronic amnesics of spirit. We forget. How easily we forget. We become chronic amnesics. We drift into observation and analysis without stopping to participate and experience. Then we wake one day, forgetting the feel of life. We can see it so clearly, each perplexity and nuance, but why can't we feel it? In this way, the mind grows thoughts and words the way the planet grows trees. So much that we no longer see the heavens. And so, what do we have to do? We have to chop some of those trees down. And so we need to chop down what we think and say. And you know what one of our axes is? What do you use to chop down those things, those stinking thoughts and anxieties and depressions? What do we use to chop down that tree? Silence. The exact opposite of all that crap that's going on in your head. Silence. Acceptance. Feel you're part of nature. You're in a cycle. And you must always maintain a sense of wonder, a sense of awe that you are actually the turtle spirit. You actually get to pop out of the shell. Another we talked about yesterday, voluntary reflex. Listen to this. In truth, this is the final sentences. In truth, our aliveness. How far do you want your head sticking out of your shell? Our aliveness depends on our ability to sustain wonder. to lengthen the moments that we are truly uncovered. We want the moments that our heads are sticking out of those shells to lengthen. I want it to be a minute today, but I want it to be 5 tomorrow. To be still, we want to be still too. And we want it quiet. And understand the elements of the earth and the ocean and the sky and the sea. There are aspects of life waiting for us. We can't see them when we're inside of our turtle shells, our spirit shells. We can only see them when we're moving towards a thinner shell. A lot for me to unpack in there for myself personally. I can see it here. I can tell you now. You know what? I want my shell to be so thin that it's like a veil of a mushroom. And the cycles are working that way. How many of you guys are in cycles? And you can tell, you know there's cycles. Oh, that sucks, JC. I want to get a tortoise. There's cycles. I'll tell you how you know. Aren't you further along in your spiritual development today than you were last year? You wouldn't have stayed on this crew for an hour today watching this if you weren't. You would have looked at this and said, man, I don't got time for that. I have to go rip someone off. Or I have to go hustle. Or I have to go. You wouldn't have sat here for an hour talking to your friends virtually. You talk about cycles. So I've got the giveaways. Jolie, in a minute, you'll send me, whenever you get a chance today, send me a list of those winners. I'll make sure I've got everybody. Anybody that I asked to send me their address today for something that they should have won, send it to me. And when you do send me your address, send me a little note so I remember, just so I remember. I got a little confused today. I didn't keep track of my giveaways like I kind of tried to. So I don't know. I don't know who I'm going to hear from or what I'm going to hear, but I'll hear stuff. Okay? And we'll get it all out to you guys. I want you guys to feel great today. I want you to pop your heads out. Pull your heads out. Okay? Alan says, Dear Pops, I won 2 pounds of mushrooms and I need them here tomorrow. Okay, Alan. Is that what Jolie's promised you? Oh, okay, then. All right. Justin, the website's the DetroitMushLab.net. Okay? You guys, I wish one of these days, you know what we're going to do? Is I'm just going to turn this on. I'm going to leave the screen, and you guys are just going to talk back and forth. Okay? Niffer, I wouldn't have called him that either. I would have called him Turt. I wouldn't have used the D. I would have used a T at the end. Okay? Here we go. You guys looking good out there? I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. I'm going to scroll you guys out. Thanks for being here today. We're going to have a fun time here tomorrow. We're going to have a big giveaway, maybe a couple of small ones too. Okay? Mike and Mark and Sharon and Matt and Penny and Ronnie and Funny and Holly and Mitty Matt and Niffy and Dee Anderson and Jesus Christ in Australia, letting dingoes kill turtles, Sharon, Bill D, CCS. Good morning, my friend. What? Broke all my reels. What? Nerdy, Nippy, Slingy, Sharon, Mark, Alan, Gleany, Anthony. Slingy, what? What was happening there? You two are breaking reels? Opie and Jesus Christ in Australia, and Matt and Herbie Verby Kabop, and Alan and Grady and Exception, and Jolie and Silly Gal and Kimberly, and Chris and Laura Habit, Divine Day and Free and CCS and Nippy and Mike Barabal, and Holly and Nerdy and Funny and Jimmy, and Holly and Ronnie Ronnie, you're real, aren't you, Junior? Holly and Sandman and Pennypack and Paige and Sharon and 5280. Not for part of the day, all day. Holly and MDK and Mark and Mike and MDK and City and Paige and Justin, okay? Med Rosie, Holly, Sandy, see you soon. There's some, looks like Greek. Jimmy Key, the Waz, Jesus Christ, Sharon, Skippy, just skipping through Trippendale. Bob Johnson, you're a good guy. Debbie, Pearl, Holly, Herbie, Werby, Call Mark, Jeffrey, Jesus Christ, Sandman, Only Ham, Sandman and Only Ham, Mr. Phillips, Mark Z, Jesus Christ, Holy Mark, Mike, Herbie, Mark, Higgs, there's Higgs, Sandy, CCS, 5280 all day, Jimmy Key. And the name of my book is, book name. Let me show you real quick. Very quickly. You can find this on Amazon. Growing Mushrooms in 10 Easy Stages by Pop Shrooms. And all of the money, all of the go towards the nonprofit organization. See you guys. Pops, peace, love. See you guys here tomorrow.